So, it's been 3 days since I became a prisoner in a mafia boss's mansion. 3 days since the Baek family broke in and ruined any chance I had of going back to my normal life. 3 days of being under Joon-Dae's protection. And honestly, I don't know if I'm more scared of the people trying to kill me, or the fact that I'm starting to feel safe here. Let me catch you up. After the attack, Joon-Dae moved me from the guest room to a bedroom right next to his. For security, he said. The room is bigger than my entire apartment back home. King-size bed. Walk-in closet. Bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people. Mrs. Park, the housekeeper, brought me new clothes the next morning. Designer clothes. With the tags still on. Thousands of dollars worth of outfits just sitting on my bed. I tried to refuse. I can't accept these. This is too much. She just smiled sadly and said in her broken English, "Boss insist. You need your clothes." She gestured at my ratty jeans. Not safe for staying. Not safe for staying. Like this was permanent. Like I wasn't leaving. That first morning, I didn't see Joon-Dae at all. I heard him though, shouting in Korean on the phone in his office. The anger in his voice was terrifying. I pressed my ear to the wall, trying to understand, but I only caught a few words. Baek family. Unacceptable. Consequences. Around noon, Mrs. Park brought me lunch on a literal silver tray. Bibimbap, kimchi, grilled mackerel. It looked amazing. It tasted amazing. And I hated that I was enjoying it. I was eating in my room when there was a knock on the door. "Come in," I called out. Joon-Dae entered. He'd changed from his suit into black pants and a simple black t-shirt. More casual. But somehow it made him look even more dangerous. The tattoos on his arms were fully visible now. Intricate designs, dragons, phoenixes, geometric patterns that looked like they meant something. He stood in the doorway, hands in his pockets, watching me eat. "The food is okay?" he asked. I nodded, suddenly very aware that I had rice on my chin. I wiped it quickly. "It's really good. Thank you." Silence. He just kept staring at me with those unreadable dark eyes. "Is there something you need?" I finally asked. "I need to explain the situation." I set down my chopsticks. "Okay." He walked to the window, looking out at the city. His back to me. "The Baek family runs the Southern Territory. We've had an understanding for years. They stay in their area, I stay in mine." "What changed?" "I did something they didn't like. Refused a business proposition. They took it as disrespect." He turned to face me. Breaking into my home was their way of sending a message. "What message?" His jaw tightened. "That nowhere is safe. That they can get to me anywhere. Through anyone." "Through me," I said quietly. He didn't deny it. "They saw you. They know you're connected to me now. If you leave, they'll find you. And they'll use you to get to me." I stood up, anger suddenly flooding through me. "So I'm just, what? Bait? A weakness they can exploit." "No." He took a step toward me. "You're under my protection. No one will touch you." "Protection?" My voice rose. "You mean I'm your prisoner? I didn't ask for any of this. I just crashed into your stupid car." "I know. I want to go home." "You can't. You can't just keep me here." His voice went cold. "Dangerous." "Yes, I can." We stared at each other. My heart was pounding. His expression was stone. "How long?" I asked, my voice breaking. "How long do I have to stay here?" Something flickered in his eyes. "Until it's safe." "When will that be?" He didn't answer. Because we both knew the truth. It might never be safe. I felt tears burning behind my eyes, but I refused to cry in front of him. "I hate you." He flinched. Just slightly. But I saw it. "I know." Then he turned and left, closing the door softly behind him. I sat on the bed and finally let myself cry. For my freedom. For my old life. For the fact that I'd become a pawn in a war I didn't understand. But here's the thing that made it worse. Part of me understood why he was doing this. Part of me knew he was right. If I left, I'd be dead within a week. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing noises. Every creak of the house made me jump. Every shadow looked like an intruder. Around 2 a.m., I gave up and went to the kitchen to get water. The house was dark except for a light coming from under Joon-Dae's office door. I should have gone back to my room. I should have minded my business. But something made me stop. Made me listen. He was speaking Korean again. But his voice was different. Tired. Almost broken. I heard him say something, then silence. Then a sound that made my heart clench. Was he crying? I pressed my ear closer to the door. No, not crying. But his voice was raw. Emotional. He was talking about his father. I caught the word father. Then, I'm sorry. I backed away from the door slowly. Went back to my room. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling. This dangerous, cold mafia boss who'd made me his prisoner was human. Was hurting. Was alone in his office at 2 a.m., talking to a dead father, apologizing for things I couldn't understand. And I hated that it made me see him differently. The next day, day 2 of my captivity, started with a knock on my door at 8 a.m. Miss Favour. Mrs. Park called. Boss wanna see you. In gym. Gym. Downstairs. I show you. I got dressed in one of the new outfits, designer leggings and a soft sweater that probably cost more than my rent, and followed her downstairs. The gym was ridiculous. Treadmills. Weight machines. A boxing ring. Floor-to-ceiling mirrors. And there, in the center, was Joon-Dae hitting a punching bag. Shirtless. I stopped in the doorway, suddenly very aware that I was staring. His back was to me, and I could see the full extent of his tattoos. A massive dragon across his entire back, wings spreading across his shoulders. Geometric patterns down his spine. Scars too. Old ones. Some looked like knife wounds. He hit the bag with controlled precision. Each punch perfectly placed. Sweat gleaming on his skin. Are you going to stand there all morning? He asked without turning around. I jumped. How did you know I was here? I always know. He grabbed a towel, wiped his face, then finally looked at me. You slept badly. It wasn't a question. How do you? I heard you pacing. The walls aren't as thick as you think. Great. So he knew I'd been listening outside his office. I felt my face heat up. He walked closer. I tried very hard to keep my eyes on his face and not his. Everything else. You're scared. Of course I'm scared. People want to kill me. That's not what I meant. He tilted his head, studying me. You're scared of being here. With me. I swallowed hard. Shouldn't I be? Probably. He grabbed a t-shirt from a bench and pulled it on. Disappointing. Wait, no. Not disappointing. Focus, Favour. But you're not scared of me. Not really. You're very confident about that. You were listening outside my office last night. I froze. I wasn't. If you were truly afraid of me, you would have run back to your room the moment you heard me. His eyes locked on mine. But you didn't. You stayed. You listened. I was just getting water. You heard me talking to my father. I couldn't lie. Yes. And I realized you're not just a scary mafia boss. You're a person. Who's hurting. Something shifted in his expression. His walls cracked, just a little. Don't do that. Do what? Try to understand me. Try to humanize me. It'll make this harder. Make what harder? He stepped closer. Too close. I could smell his cologne mixed with sweat. Everything. My heart was racing. Why did you ask me to come down here? Because you need to learn to defend yourself. I blinked. What? If something happens. If they get past my security. If I can't protect you. You need to be able to protect yourself. He walked to a corner and picked up boxing gloves. So I'm going to teach you. I don't know how to fight. I know. That's the problem. He held out the gloves. Put these on. For the next hour, Joon-Dae taught me basic self-defense. How to stand. How to punch properly. How to use someone's weight against them. How to go for vulnerable spots, eyes, throat, groin. He was patient. Surprisingly so. When I did something wrong, he'd adjust my stance with his hands, guiding my body into position. Each touch was professional. Clinical. But my skin burned everywhere he made contact. Again, he'd say. And I'd throw another punch at the pad he was holding. Harder. I am. No, you're hesitating. Commit to it. Like you mean it. I threw another punch, putting all my frustration into it. The impact jarred my arm. Better. He actually smiled. Just a tiny one. But it transformed his face. Made him look younger. Less scary. You're stronger than you think. By the end, I was exhausted, sweating, and my arms felt like jelly. We'll do this every day, he said, handing me a water bottle. Every day? Until you can actually hurt someone if you need to. He paused. I won't always be there, Favour. You need to be able to take care of yourself. The way he said my name, it was the first time he'd used it instead of Miss Balagan. It sounded different in his accent. Softer. Why are you doing this? I asked. Really? You could have just, I don't know, paid the Baek family off. Made this go away. Why keep me here? Why protect me? He was quiet for a long moment. Because they saw you with me. That makes you my responsibility. That's it? Responsibility. His jaw tightened. That's it. But I didn't believe him. There was something else. Something he wasn't saying. That afternoon, day 2, I was back in his bedroom organizing more of his collection. He'd brought in his watch winders now, mechanical devices that kept automatic watches running. Each one needed to be cleaned, tested, and cataloged. I was carefully cleaning a vintage Omega when I heard shouting from downstairs. Male voices. Angry. In Korean. I froze, cloth still in my hand. More shouting. Then Joon-Dae's voice, calm but commanding. A response. Footsteps on the stairs. Multiple people. I stood up, heart pounding. Should I hide? Run? Call for help? The door burst open. But it wasn't an attack. It was 3 men in expensive suits. Joon-Dae was with them, looking annoyed. One of the men, older, maybe in his 40s with silver streaks in his hair, spotted me and stopped mid-sentence. He stared, then said something in Korean to Joon-Dae. Joon-Dae responded sharply. The man laughed. Actually laughed. Then he looked at me and switched to English. So you're the girl who crashed into his car? I nodded nervously. Yes, sir. Sir. He laughed harder. She calls me sir. Joon-Dae, I like her already. Joon-Dae's expression was stone. Hyung, you're making her uncomfortable. I'm just saying hello. The man walked over, extending his hand. I'm Minjun, Joon-Dae's older brother. Well, not blood brother. But we grew up together. I shook his hand, confused. Nice to meet you? Minjun looked back at Joon-Dae with a huge grin. You kept her. In your bedroom. Organizing your watches. She's working off a debt. Uh-huh. In your bedroom. The watches are in my bedroom. You have 3 other properties. You could have had her work anywhere. Joon-Dae's jaw was clenched so tight I thought it might crack. What do you want, Hyung? Minjun's expression turned serious. We got intel on the Baek family. They're planning something. My stomach dropped. Not here, Joon-Dae said, glancing at me. She should hear this. It involves her. Joon-Dae looked conflicted, then nodded. Fine. Minjun turned to me. 3 days ago, when the Baek soldiers broke in, they took photos. Of you. With Joon-Dae. What? They've been asking around about you. Who you are. Where you came from. Your family. My blood ran cold. My family? In Nigeria? And here. Your friends. Your students. Your landlord. I felt sick. No. No, they can't. They're not involved in this. Joon-Dae stepped forward. I've already put protection on everyone close to you. They're being watched. They're safe. You what? I had no choice. I backed away from both of them. This is insane. This is insane. I'm putting everyone I know in danger. You're not, Joon-Dae said firmly. I am. They're targeting people around me. You're just. Collateral damage? Protected, he finished. Minjun cleared his throat. There's more. The Baek family is hosting a gathering in 3 days. All the major families will be there. It's supposed to be neutral ground, but they'll use it to make a move, Joon-Dae finished. What kind of move? I asked. The 2 men exchanged a look. The kind where they try to kill me, Joon-Dae said flatly. In front of everyone. To make a statement. My heart stopped. Then don't go. I have to. If I don't show, it looks like I'm scared. Weak. Every other family will think they can come after me too. So you're just going to walk into a trap? He looked at me with those cold, dark eyes. Yes. That's suicide. That's business. Minjun spoke up. That's why we're here. To plan. To make sure he doesn't actually die. Oh, well, great plan then. Joon-Dae's lips twitched. Almost a smile. Your concern is noted. I'm not concerned. I threw my hands up. You're all insane. The other two men who'd come with Minjun were trying not to laugh. We should discuss strategy, one of them said. Joon-Dae nodded. To me, he said, stay in this room. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except Mrs. Park or me. You're leaving me here? We'll be downstairs. In my office. This conversation isn't for you. Isn't for me? People are trying to kill me too. Which is why you're staying here. Where it's safe. And just like that, they all filed out. The door closed. I heard the lock click from the outside. He'd locked me in. I ran to the door, tried the handle. Locked. Are you kidding me right now? No response. Just footsteps fading away downstairs. I was trapped. Again. In his bedroom. Surrounded by watches I was supposed to be organizing while he planned how to not die at a Mafia party. This was my life now. I slid down the door and sat on the floor. 3 days ago, I was a normal English teacher. Now I was locked in a Mafia boss's bedroom while he figured out how to survive an assassination attempt. How did I get here? I looked around the room. At the watches. The books. The perfectly organized closet. The red case on the high shelf. His father's watch. The thing he protected above everything else. Even above himself. Without thinking, I stood up. Dragged a chair over. Climbed up. Carefully took down the red case. I sat on his bed and opened it. The watch inside was beautiful. Vintage. A Patek Philippe Calatrava from the 1960s. Rose gold. Simple. Elegant. The kind of watch you pass down through generations. On the back, there was an engraving in Korean. I pulled out my phone, used a translation app to photograph it. The translation appeared, to my son. Time is precious. Don't waste it. Appa. My throat tightened. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Quickly, I closed the case, climbed back up, returned it to the shelf. Jumped down just as the lock clicked. The door opened. Joon-Dae stood there, looking exhausted. The meeting is over? I asked. He nodded. Stepped inside. Closed the door behind him. We stood there in his bedroom. Alone. The air felt heavy. You touched it, he said quietly. My heart stopped. What? The red case. You moved it. I can tell. I couldn't lie to him. I'm sorry. I wanted to understand. Understand what? Why you keep it separate. Why it matters so much. He walked to the shelf, looked up at the case. My father gave me that watch the day he died. I stayed quiet, letting him talk. He knew he was going to die. He'd made too many enemies. Refused to compromise his principles. So he called me into his office, gave me that watch, and told me that time is the only thing we can't buy more of. Joon-Dae's voice was rough. 3 hours later, he was shot. In our home. In front of me. Joon-Dae. I whispered. I was 15. I took over everything. The business. The territory. The responsibilities. I wore that watch every single day for a year. Until someone tried to take it from me during a fight. Almost lost it. After that, I put it away. Never wore it again. But you kept it. It's all I have left of him. The only thing that reminds me there was a time when this life was about more than just survival. I took a step toward him. What was it about? He finally looked at me. And for the first time, I saw the 15-year-old boy who'd lost everything. Family. Honor. Protecting the people who couldn't protect themselves. You still do that, I said softly. No. Now I'm the person people need protection from. That's not true. Isn't it? You're here because of me. Your life is in danger because of me. Everyone you know is being watched because of me. I'm also alive because of you. He stared at me. What? If you hadn't protected me that day, when the Baek soldiers broke in, if you'd just let them take me, I swallowed hard. I'd be dead. You saved my life. I put your life in danger in the first place. No. I put my own life in danger when I crashed into your car. That was on me. Everything after, you've been trying to keep me safe. He shook his head. You shouldn't be grateful. You should hate me. I did. I do. But I stopped. What was I even saying? I also see you. The real you. Not just the scary mafia boss. The person who can't sleep. Who reads The Little Prince at night. Who keeps his father's watch like a shrine. Who teaches me self-defense so I can protect myself if you're not there. We were close now. Too close. I could see the conflict in his eyes. Favour. His voice was barely a whisper. Yeah, you need to stop looking at me like that. Like what? Like you're trying to figure me out. Like you think there's something good in me worth finding. Maybe there is. His hand came up, almost touching my face, then dropped. There isn't. But he didn't step back. Neither did I. The air between us was electric. Dangerous. The gathering in 3 days, I said. Take me with you. His eyes snapped to mine. Absolutely not. If I'm there, you'll have backup. An extra set of eyes. I can. You'll be a target. A distraction. They'll use you against me. They're already using me against you. At least if I'm there, I can see what's happening. No. You can't just lock me up here forever. Watch me. We glared at each other. My heart was pounding. His jaw was clenched. And then, before I could think about what I was doing, I grabbed his shirt and pulled him down. Our lips met. For half a second, he froze. Then he was kissing me back. Hard. Desperate. His hands in my hair. My back against the wall. Everything else disappeared except his mouth on mine, his body pressed against me, the way he tasted like coffee and danger and something I couldn't name. It was angry and passionate and absolutely insane. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. That, he started, was a mistake, I finished. Yes, but his hand was still in my hair, and I was still holding his shirt. A huge mistake, I whispered. The worst decision you've ever made. Probably. Neither of us moved. Then, footsteps in the hallway. We jumped apart just as someone knocked on the door. Boss. It was one of his men. We have a problem. Joon-Dae straightened his shirt, ran a hand through his hair. His expression shifted back to cold. Controlled. The Mafia boss returning. But before he opened the door, he looked at me one more time. And whispered, we can't do this again. I know. He opened the door. What is it? The man spoke rapidly in Korean. Whatever he said made Joon-Dae's entire body tense. When? Joon-Dae demanded. More Korean. Then the man glanced at me nervously. Joon-Dae swore under his breath. Turn to me. Pack a bag. Now. What? Why? They found this location. The Baek family knows you're here. We're moving. Tonight. My blood ran cold. Moving where? Somewhere safer. Somewhere they won't find you. But I thought this place was secure. So did I. Pack. 5 minutes. Only essentials. He and his man left. I stood frozen for a moment, then my survival instincts kicked in. I grabbed a bag. Threw in clothes. My phone. Charger. Passport. The few belongings I had. 3 minutes later, Joon-Dae was back. Let's go. Where are we going? I'll explain in the car. Move. I followed him downstairs. The house was chaos. Men rushing around. Packing. Loading weapons. Mrs. Park was crying, speaking rapidly in Korean. Joon-Dae said something to her. She nodded, still crying, and looked at me with such sadness. What did you tell her? I asked. That I'll keep you safe. We got into a black SUV. Not the Maybach. Something more discreet. Joon-Dae drove. 2 other cars followed us, security. As we pulled away from the mansion, I looked back. The place that had been my prison for 3 days. The place where everything had changed. They have someone on the inside, Joon-Dae said, eyes on the road. Someone in my organization has been feeding them information. That's how they knew about you. About the house. About everything. Who? I don't know yet. But I will find out. His voice was ice. And when I do, they'll regret ever crossing me. We drove in silence for a while. Seoul's lights blurring past the windows. The kiss, he finally said. My heart jumped. What about it? It can't happen again. You already said that. I'm saying it again. Because it's important. He glanced at me. You're under my protection. That means we can't. I know. Do you? Because the way you looked at me back there. I know, okay? I know it was stupid and reckless and exactly the kind of thing that gets people killed in situations like this. I was angry now. At him. At myself. At this whole situation. I'm not an idiot, Joon-Dae. I know you're dangerous. I know this isn't some romance story. I know that kiss was just adrenaline, fear, proximity, whatever. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, so softly I almost didn't hear it. What if it wasn't? I stared at him. What? What if it wasn't just adrenaline? My heart stopped. Don't. Don't what? Don't say things like that. Don't make this more complicated than it already is. It's already complicated, Favour. It's been complicated since the moment you crashed into my car and looked at me with those terrified eyes. So what are you saying? He pulled the car over. Suddenly, we were on a quiet street. Dark. Empty. He turned to face me fully. I'm saying that kiss wasn't a mistake for the reasons you think. Then why was it a mistake? Because now I know what you taste like. How you feel in my arms. And I'm going to spend every single day trying not to do it again. My breath caught. Joon-Dae. You make me weak. You make me want things I can't have. A normal life. A person who looks at me the way you do. Someone who sees past the monster. You're not a monster. Yes, I am. And the fact that you don't see that. He reached out, cupped my face. That's why this is dangerous. Not just for you. For me. We were close again. So close. Where are we going? I whispered. Somewhere no one will find us. A place even my own men don't know about. Just us. Just us. My heart was racing. That's either the safest place I could be, or the most dangerous. His thumb brushed my cheek. Both. And then he was pulling away. Starting the car again. Driving. But everything had changed. Again. We drove for another hour. Out of Seoul. Into the countryside. The roads got narrower. Darker. Finally, we pulled up to a small house. Traditional Korean style. Surrounded by trees. Completely isolated. This is it, Joon-Dae said, parking. This is your safe house? This was my grandmother's house. She left it to me when she died. Only 3 people know it exists. Me, Min-Jun, and now you. We got out. The night air was cold. Quiet. No city sounds. Just wind in the trees. Joon-Dae unlocked the door. Inside, it was simple. Traditional. But clean. Well-maintained. There's a bedroom upstairs. Bathroom. Kitchen is stocked. We'll stay here until I figure out who the leak is and eliminate the threat. How long will that take? Days. Maybe a week. A week? Here? Just the 2 of us. He looked at me. And I saw it. The same fear I was feeling reflected in his eyes. Yes. We stared at each other. Both knowing exactly how dangerous this was. And not just because of the Baek family. I'll take the couch, he said. Joon-Dae. I'll take the couch. You get the bedroom. Lock the door if you want. I don't need to lock the door. Yes, you do. Why? He stepped closer. Close enough that I had to tilt my head back to look at him. Because if you don't, I won't be able to stop myself from coming in there. My breath hitched. And if I don't want you to stop? His eyes darkened. Don't say things like that. Why not? Because I'm barely holding on as it is. His voice was rough. Strained. You have no idea what you do to me. Then tell me. No. Why not? Because once I start. He closed his eyes. Took a deep breath. I won't be able to stop. And you deserve better than this. Better than me. I reached up. Touched his face. He flinched, but didn't pull away. What if I don't want better? I whispered. What if I just want you? His eyes opened. And what I saw there took my breath away. Want. Need. Fear. Conflict. Everything. Favor. His voice was broken. Don't do this. Do what? Make me fall for you. My heart stopped. Is that what's happening? He took my hand. Gently removed it from his face. Go upstairs. Lock the door. Get some sleep. Joon-Dae. Please. It was the please that did it. The vulnerability in that one word. I nodded. Grabbed my bag. Started up the stairs. At the top, I looked back. He was standing in the middle of the living room, hands in his pockets, looking more lost than I'd ever seen him. "For what it's worth," I said softly, "you're already too late." "What?" "Trying not to make me fall for you. You're too late." I went into the bedroom, closed the door, but I didn't lock it. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my heart pounding. Everything had changed. Again. I was trapped in a safe house with a mafia boss who just admitted he was falling for me. A mafia boss who kissed me like I was oxygen. A mafia boss who was trying desperately to do the right thing and push me away. A mafia boss who, in 3 days, was going to walk into a trap that might kill him. And the worst part? The absolute worst part? I realized I'd do anything to keep him alive, even if it meant risking my own life. Because somewhere between organizing watches and learning to throw punches and being locked in his mansion, I'd fallen for him too. Downstairs, I heard movement. Joon-Dae settling on the couch. The house going quiet. And I knew neither of us would sleep tonight. Because tomorrow, everything would change again. And we both knew that Kiss was just the beginning. So, yeah, that's where I am now. Trapped in a countryside safe house with a mafia boss who's falling for me while people are trying to kill us both. And the scariest part? I don't want to leave. Part 3 is coming, and trust me, you won't believe what happens at that gathering. Should I go with him? Should I tell him how I really feel? Or should I run while I still can? Drop your thoughts below because honestly, I have no idea what to do anymore. Thanks for watching. And if you're Team Joon-Dae, just know I'm in trouble. Deep, deep trouble.